Hi, this is Francisco Bijan from vitalcoaching.com, and we are talking about dating success for women. In this video, we are going to cover safe dating and how to apply it in your life. When we talk about safe dating, we talk first about flirting boundaries. You know, when you are in cafes and you feel that there is a guy who is coming a bit too close and you want to protect yourself. So that's the first area, flirting boundaries. The second area has to do with having crushes and protecting yourself emotionally. Another area which has to do with safe dating has to do with dealing with a guy who can be possessive, demanding or controlling. This is also an area where you don't want a guy to start being a bit emotionally abusive with you, really trying to control your life. So we are going to put in place a few strategies that you can use if this happens to you. When we talk about dating and safety, there is this whole area of internet. I'm going to give you also a couple of extra tips, even though that's a bit more obvious. And also the area of safe sex, that's another area where you really want to protect yourself. Flirting boundaries. Imagine that you are at a cafe, public place somewhere, and you have this guy who is starting to come a bit too close, and maybe he's a bit drunk, he doesn't respect your limits, and he really starts invading your space. What you want to do is give him a very clear and firm message. I mean, it's very nice to be in the dating scene, right? It's a lot about being fun and loving and pretty and sexy, all that. But at the same time, this is the moment where you have to start adding a quality of power and put a very clear limit and a very clear boundary. So when you tell him, thanks, but I'm not interested, for instance, you have to be extremely firm and be extremely assertive also in the way you do that. Now, you don't want to hurt the guy, right? Otherwise, he might react in a way which is a bit inappropriate and feel offended or something like that. You want to stay respectful, but give him a very clear signal that he's coming too close and that you maybe are not interested in having a discussion with him. And simply realize that it is your right to protect your personal space. If a guy, for instance, buys you a drink, that's all he's buying. Remember that. You don't owe anything to anybody. Now, let's jump to the second area, which has to do with having crushes. I mean, when you think of falling in love, do you think of something which is an uplifting experience, or do you think of something which is actually limiting you emotionally? You want this, this love experience to be an uplifting one. You want this to take you to a place which is better, where you feel emotionally happy and free. So this whole idea of falling in love and having a crush and having a very difficult time because the guy you care for doesn't love you back or doesn't call back, all that is really an emotional roller coaster that you don't want to engage into. I know that there is this whole romantic idea about abandoning yourself and giving your love fully to somebody. But when it comes to dating, you have to be really smart and realize that actually you want to master the emotions of love rather than abandoning yourself fully into them. Now, what I'm saying here might be something new for you. I am not sure, but I must say that if you simply engage into love and simply abandon yourself, very often you will get hurt because you lose control with your own base, you lose control with your own life, and that's the last thing you want to see happening. Simply forget about this whole abandoning yourself idea. One of the reasons why you can get hurt in dating, love and relationships is because you love somebody who does not love you back to the same extent. In other terms, you give much more than what you receive. When you start falling for a guy, really starting having feelings for somebody, very often you will start committing yourself emotionally to somebody. It means that in your mind, this person becomes your point of focus. And what happens at that moment is that you already start giving your life to somebody before there is a clear sign that this person will start loving you back. If you want to feel safe and emotionally free with dating, you have to learn how to master that specific situation. You might say, well, this is not what I hear in songs, it's not what I hear in movies, in the pop culture. I mean, the whole idea of romance is totally different. It is time to shift this vision and really engage into dating and into relationships and into love with the new vision, which is really going to be empowering for you. You can be in love and still be in control of your life. Some guys won't change. They have certain attitudes simply because they decide that it's okay to control a woman's life, to control her actions or behaviors, to be extremely jealous and possessive and demanding. So it will be very, very hard to change them. Now, in some situations, guys are very open to change. Sometimes a guy will behave in a certain way because simply he doesn't know better. Once you start dating and to get to know each other, the idea is to educate him on how to treat you right. I mean, when a guy is pushy or he's demanding or controlling or jealous, you can really educate him. You can teach him how to treat you right. It means that you are going to give him feedback. You are going to have relationship conversations with him, a place where you can really have an open dialogue and tell him how his behavior makes you feel and how you would like him to behave in a better way. This whole area of educating guys is of course a very vast topic, so we won't cover it all here. If you communicate it wisely, a guy will actually want to learn from you. He will want to learn how to become a better partner, a better person, and eventually learn also how to love you better. It's really part of the skills that guys sometimes need to learn, and you are very often as a partner in the best place to educate a guy on how to do that. Let's talk now about internet. I mean, internet is an area where you probably heard a lot about safety already. Sometimes people online are going to lie. They are going to say things which are not true. Now, as long as you are online, it's okay. Never reveal, personal information to somebody you don't really trust fully yet. Don't give away your address, don't give away your phone number, don't give away any form of personal information that would make it easy for him to track you. The next place where you have to be really careful is the moment you decide to meet that person. Always meet in a public place, in an area where there are lots of people, and if possible, meet somewhere which is far away from where you live so that he cannot follow you or track you. These are just initial steps. Of course, once you get to know each other, then, if you realize that you can actually trust the person, that he is respectful and that he's a caring person, then you can, of course, start opening up step by step. What about safe sex? I mean, of course, this is a vast topic, and you have plenty of resources and tips online, so you can go back and check that. Don't have sex with a stranger. I mean, if possible, avoid one-night stands, avoid just sleeping around with anybody. Keep intercourse and intimacy for a later stage, once you get to know somebody already. Light intimacy is most of the times okay with with somebody you had a couple of dates with. Now, when you are having intercourse frequently with different partners, then that's the moment where you can get in trouble. Practice safe sex, do everything you need to do to make sure that you're protected on that level. To summarize, remember that guys can be educated. It is your role as a woman to sometimes teach guys how to treat you right. And the moment you want to teach them that, you need to be extremely firm and direct. The number one reason why you can get hurt with dating is because you love somebody who does not love you back to the same extent. So if you start falling for a guy who does not respond, the goal is very simple. Pull back emotionally, disinvest yourself emotionally, and start focusing on a guy, on somebody else, on other guys who will actually respond to what you have to offer. That's it for these safety tips. I hope this was very helpful to you, and be sure you apply. Of course, we'll be back with more very soon. Take care, and bye-bye.